More than 80% of Earth's oceans remain entirely unexplored, entire ecosystems hidden beneath endless darkness. But what if something massive was waiting below? Tonight, we enter a terrifying timeline where giant sea monsters truly existed. We're going to break down this chilling explainer to see exactly how humanity would react to the ultimate aquatic threat. Imagine an Earth where the dominant apex predators aren't humans on land, but colossal beasts waiting down in the abyss. Think about that for a second. 80%. Right now, in our actual reality, over 80% of our oceans are completely unmapped and unseen by human eyes. It is literally an alien world sitting right here on our own planet. Honestly, it's wild to think that we know more about the surface of Mars than we do about the bottom of our own oceans.
Down there, in that endless darkness, there are highly complex, completely hidden ecosystems. I mean, the pressure is absolutely crushing, and sunlight never even reaches the bottom. Life down there operates by a totally different rulebook. It's basically the perfect isolated breeding ground for the unknown, practically untouched by us for millions of years.
So, what if those unexplored depths weren't just hiding tiny, strange jellyfish and microscopic organisms? What if titanic predators were waiting down there? Just posing this one question completely flips our entire understanding of the food chain totally upside down. Okay, let's dive into part 1, the deep sea discovery.
This nightmare actually starts out super quiet. In the first month, highly advanced deep-sea submarines just disappear. No distress signals, no floating debris. Just a comms link going dead as they vanish into the pitch black. Then, by month 2, military vessels start picking up these strange, massive sonar signals. We are talking biological shadows way too huge to be whales, moving at speeds that shouldn't even be possible. And by month 3, a massive, desperate global cover-up is underway. World leaders suddenly realize something gigantic is moving beneath the waves, and they have absolutely no idea how to stop it.
Which brings us to part 2, the first monsters attacks. You have to imagine the sheer terror when these hidden threats finally breach the surface. And to be clear, we aren't talking about a rogue shark biting a surfboard here. We're talking about colossal sea creatures actively hunting human infrastructure. Picture massive cargo ships, literally hundreds of feet long, just being snapped in half. Imagine the claustrophobic nightmare of nuclear submarines being hunted down and crushed like soda cans. And those huge, reinforced offshore oil platforms, caught by enormous tentacles, ripped right off their pylons and dragged screaming into the freezing black water. The global panic would be completely off the charts. That leads right into part 3. Humanity loses the oceans. The domino effect here is just catastrophic. First off, global shipping collapses overnight. Remember, over 80% of all global trade travels by sea. Food, medicine, fuel, all those vital lifelines are severed in a matter of days. Step 2, entire coastlines are evacuated en masse. Billions of people have to flee inland because coastal cities turn into death traps, battered by massive tidal waves just from the sheer displacement of water when these things move offshore. And finally, a desperate naval warfare begins. But human navies aren't fighting each other anymore. They're locked in this chaotic, hopeless war against the ocean itself. Now for part 4, monsters emerge worldwide. Because the really terrifying thing is, humanity quickly realizes this isn't just one isolated anomaly. The entire deep ocean ecosystem is waking up all at once. Over in the Atlantic, giant krakens start rising up, wrapping around destroyers, and pulling whole military fleets down into the abyss. In the Pacific, you've got ancient leviathans, literal serpentine nightmares straight out of myth, causing massive tsunamis every time they breach. And in warmer waters, enormous, shark-like predators that make a prehistoric megalodon look like a harmless little goldfish are hunting anything with a pulse. Within weeks, humanity realizes we've been bumped straight to the bottom of the food chain. Which brings us to part 5, humanity's final war. Pushed to the absolute brink of extinction, the whole globe has to unite. Mankind is forced into this massive, desperate technological leap just to survive. The oceans turn into the staging ground for a brutal, sci-fi-level global defense effort. Engineers are frantically scrambling to build futuristic sea weapons. Think massive sonic cannons and hypercavitating torpedoes specifically designed to punch through thick blubber and scales. Governments are throwing up heavily fortified, pressurized underwater military bases just to protect the few communication cables we have left. It turns into these giant, epic naval battles of man versus behemoth, fighting tooth and nail just to reclaim the water we used to completely take for granted. But right in the middle of all this chaos, amidst the deafening roar of artillery and churning water, military tacticians make the absolute most chilling discovery yet. What if these creatures are actually intelligent? What if they're not just wild, mindless beasts attacking at random, but highly evolved predators using coordinated pack hunting tactics? If they are actively communicating, strategizing, and deliberately targeting our global supply lines, well, then humanity isn't just fighting wild animals anymore. We are fighting a rival civilization.
That sets up Part 6, the terrifying ancient truth. You see, the ultimate philosophical horror of this whole timeline is that these monsters existed for millions of years before humans even learned to walk on two legs. Scientists realized the deep sea wasn't just hiding them, it was their sanctuary. These ancient ecosystems were thriving down in the endless dark, evolving right alongside us while we were busy building our fragile little glass cities up on the surface. And that means the oceans were never actually ours to claim in the first place. We were just temporary, surface-level tenants living on a planet that belonged to them.
Humanity conquered the land. We conquered the skies. We proudly planted our flags everywhere we went, totally convinced that we were the undisputed masters of Earth, but we completely forgot one chilling reality. The oceans were never truly empty. They belonged to something far older and far more powerful all along.
This explainer is such a fascinating and frankly terrifying thought experiment that it definitely makes you look at the dark ocean water a little differently, doesn't it? If you want to explore more terrifying alternate realities, lost worlds, and hidden creatures just like the ones we unpack today, be sure to subscribe to Alternate Itihas. So what do you think you would do if the oceans suddenly woke up? Let that question linger. Until next time, keep learning and keep wondering what might be waiting out there in the dark.